Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello. What if you faced your goals in life with the same discipline as a boxer? If you focused and you went after your dreams, you got up when you got knocked down, and you kept fighting back? Our guest today has a lot of answers to those questions. I'm really happy to introduce Tiger Smalls, our guest today. He's a former world featherweight champion, California Boxing Hall of Fame. He owns a gym, the San Diego Combat Academy, where we are today, and I'm really looking forward to having him. So please welcome Tiger Smalls.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Howdy.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate you. Yesterday, you threw out the opening pitch for the San Diego Padres.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of cool. That was real dope.
What was that like for you?
At first, it was kind of nerve-wracking. I knew maybe about a week in advance, or maybe a week and a half in advance that I was going to throw it. So I started practicing because I realized that, 50 feet is pretty far. I mean, you know what I'm saying, yes. To throw a ball, mainly when you never threw a ball like that before. So I was kind of nervous, but it worked out pretty good.
Well, I was lucky to be there along with a number of people from the gym, and it looked like a strike to us from the stands.
That's what I heard. I heard everybody told me that even on the field. So I was happy about that. I think it was pretty high, but I'm very critical about what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? I wanted it to be so perfect that they maybe even gave me a day contract or something.
Well, I think they should for it. So.
No, I didn't do that good, but I think I did good enough to get out the clear.
Well, and as a world boxing champion, world featherweight boxing champion, you're used to being in some pretty big arenas. And so what was it like for you to be out there in Petco Park?
Wow, yeah. Well, I've never fought in front of as many as Petco Park can hold for sure. But like I said, well, you know what? Being out there at first, you know what I'm saying? It was overwhelming because I've never really done anything like that. But almost just like boxing, like as I stayed on the field, couldn't hear too much of anything, almost walking down the tunnel, everything, so it was cool.
Yes. One thing I've wondered about with boxing, and so when the big fights happen in the big arenas and there is a big to do at the beginning of the fight, the lights go down, the music comes up and the fighters come out, is that for the fighters, for their concentration, or is that for the audience to get them excited about the fight?
Well, a little bit of both. I feel, because it depends on the person, really. Entertainment, and I feel like the music before you come out is for the fans, to be entertained. However, I feel it's also there to hype the actual fighter up too. It's one of his favorite songs that gets him amped up, so or it's the song he feels is almost like a definition of his character, and that's why he's coming out to it. So I feel like it's for entertainment, but I also feel it's for the ego of the fighter as well.
That makes sense. Okay. And how do fighters keep their concentration and not get psyched out by their opponent? Like, at the weigh-in, usually there's a face-off and people are trying to psych each other out. How did you not get caught up in that?
Because I never had to fight Mike Tyson.
That's it.
I'm dead serious. I mean, there was
Yes.
nobody. I mean, like with him, he had won his fights just by most of his fights, by purely just intimidation. But I've never been in that predicament. I don't think in my division there was no one that I've had to fear. I didn't. It was competition, but I didn't feel like I had to fear any one of them. So I didn't have to overcome that type of feeling, I mean, but if I, would have had to fight Mike Tyson, I would assume the way I would overcome it, there's a lot of sleeping pills. No, I don't know. I mean, that's, when the way they built Mike, just for instance, just to say about the intimidation thing, the way they built Mike was for that. They built him like he intimidating to overcome that feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I don't know how I would get over it with Mike Tyson because like I said, I remember being in the gym with him and he got upset and like nobody looked at him in his face, including myself. So I don't know if I would have gotten over that, so there it is.
From his perspective, that's an interesting position to be in where people respond to you that way. I'm not sure that's a great position to be in terms of your personal life with people being afraid to deal with you, but it certainly worked for him professionally.
Oh yeah. He wasn't the only one. He was just the most notorious one. George Foreman back in his day, before he came out with his grill, if you look at his 70s career, he was another one that was very, very, very much so intimidating. Sonny Liston, another one. So he, Tyson wasn't the first. He was probably maybe one of the most, devastating, at it, but he wasn't the first,
Yes. And now, one of the things that you were fortunate, I think, not to have to deal with was social media, because now I imagine that for fighters, that's a whole other realm that they have to deal with online bullying and comments and all kinds of mistruths being put out there to a large audience. And how do you advise the fighters that you train to deal with that?
Don't respond. Don't respond. Don't respond to the negative or the positive, because once you start engaging, unless it's your page, I would assume, but if it's not your page and you run across comments that's negative about you, just ignore it, because you just got to think to yourself, this is some sort of publicity, and now another person is saying my name. And that happens. Everybody's not going to love you. Everybody's not going to hate you.
Yes.
Some people love the bad guy. Some people hate the good guy. So, it doesn't matter. Just if it's not on your page and it's, who cares? It's not personal. My advice is just ignore it. Don't be that person to respond.
That's good advice. And for all of us. And when you were on the show previously, you mentioned that fighters have this killer instinct that they have to have in the ring.
Yes.
Whether they in the ring, they have to have that killer instinct.
Part of them. Some of us are born with it. And then you have some of them that are taught, and that this is like having to say it like this, but like having a dog back in the day, they would say if you feed them gunpowder, so you could make a nice little dog into a vicious animal. And same thing with a fighter. You could teach him to have those killer instincts. There are certain traits that you can't teach a fighter, and that's, having a good chin, being able to take a punch. You can't teach that. Having heart, having the will to win. You can't teach that. But killer instinct, yes, because killer instinct is something, that most of these fighters lack today, because they just want to pose and they just want to look good. Yes. But killer instinct is, once you get your opponent hurt or even looking like they're hurt, you're jumping on them and you smell the blood and you go for it like a shark. So It can be taught 100%, 100%. If you got a coach that teaches it and believe in it, it will be emphasized. It will get through eventually to his fighter. Have that to be in the camp, So yes, it can be taught.
Yeah.
I was born with it.
It was ingrained in you.
Right.
Yes. You started fighting boxing when you were 3, and you got some publicity for that, and that brought you to Muhammad Ali's attention. And you shared previously that he then invited you to his camp to train for several years. And
Correct.
so I'm sure you got to be around some incredible fighters and trainers. Are there lessons that you learn there that stay with you even till now?
Oh yeah, 100%. The biggest thing is character that Muhammad Ali, taught if you want to be successful. And it's not only the character that you have in the ring, it's the character and the things that you do outside the ring that's going to, propel you into being great. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're going to be good, you just got to be good at what you do. And you'll be, Ali was one of the best heavyweight. He was, outside the ring that made him the superstar that he was. You know what I'm saying? That makes him the greatest boxer of all time for life. Not the things that he did in the ring. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. And he set the example in so many.
And he literally said that. And, the disrespect that these fighters have. And, Evander probably wouldn't have said that 10 years ago, but, now, he's saying it, that, he's a 4-time and Ali was only a 3-time. So he should be. What did Evander Holyfield do outside of boxing that anybody know that can change a life?
Yes. And Muhammad Ali changed lives. He absolutely
100%,
changed lives.
100%.
Yes.
So he's great. And the great is.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And for you, you started getting some publicity when you were 3. So literally your whole life you've been in the limelight. And how have you navigated that? And, you're a very humble, down to earth person. And how have you managed that through your whole life, literally?
I don't know. I don't look at it as being a celebrity or being in the limelight. I just feel like I'm doing my job, and then people ask me about it, even such as yourself. I don't, even like that Petco, people wanted to take pictures. Back in my day, it would be autographs and maybe some pictures too, but I never looked at it as being like I was in the limelight. I just thought it was something cool. I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm so humble about it. I don't think I'm humble either. I just think I'm normal.
It's normal. It's your normal life. Yes.
I just think it's normal. But I mean, I guess, if that's what it's good, I'm glad that, that I'm perceived to be humble, because I just don't even think nothing of it really. It's no big deal. It's no big deal.
I think it's a gift. It's absolutely, because there are people whose heads get huge in that situation. And
Sure.
I'm just going to move the camera a little bit so that I'm going to move over and ask you to come there we go. Yeah, thank you.
I was out of frame?
No, you're still in frame, but now you're even better in frame.
Okay.
So yes. That's great. Perfect. In professional sports, there's usually such a fine line at the very top. Like for track athletes, there's just this much time between first place and fifth place. And,
Right.
Swimming, any sport that you think of, it's just millimeters between the top athletes. In boxing, what is it that differentiates the champions? Is it physical? Is something about their training? Is it emotional? Is it a combination of those things? What is that little extra oomph that makes the champion?
Well, you could have different type of champions as well. So, but I really feel like your question is what makes you from being, good or great or ordinary to elite, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
it is a thin margin, and it's like it's a number of things. Like you said, it's a combination of things, and that's why I tell my fighters we got to move in that order. So the first thing is you have to have extraordinary amount of skill. So you got to work on your skill. You got to work on your skill. You got to work on your skill. I can't say it more. Once that is to the T, now every little definition matters. Because if you get two people that their skills are at that level, now the little stuff starts to because once you have skill, it doesn't matter. Oh, I'm eating right. I'm going to bed on time. I'm doing this. I make sure I don't have six weeks before the fight. But you have no skill. This guy have way more skill than you. He's going to kick your ass.
Yeah.
All right. But once you get your skill, that's why I said that over a dozen times, you have to get that up to par. Then the little things like your nutrition and the time that you go to sleep. And, now it's a calculation because you want to do more than your opponent now at this point. Because both of you guys, you're at that level. I got to edge him out by any means necessary, by any other. It doesn't matter. I got to lift 1 more pound than him. I've got everything. You know what I'm saying? So it is a combination of everything. But the most important thing is to get your skill at the highest level that you can. And I don't mean to the level that you plateau. I mean that the highest level of the best fighter or the best athlete that you've seen, that you think that you're around that level. Now, when you're there, then like I said, then everything will count. Like you better wear the right running shoes when you start running. You want everything now to be precise. You're taking your vitamins. You're making sure you're getting your blood work, making sure you're everything, at that point. But other than that, like I said, if you're eating Hershey's and but you got your skill up to par, you're going to be beating a lot of people that they're like, how can he do that? Because he practiced on his craft. That's why. So that's the most important thing is the craft. But do remember, once you get there, the other fine-tuned definitions definitely matters at that point.
Yeah. So would you say it's an obsession with details? Like it's the detail of, like you said, at some point, the detail of the shoes that you're wearing or the detail of your skill, that little, whatever that little twist might be in your wrist.
100%. 100%. That's why, they, with a lot of fighters back in the day, and even some still today, they go out. Like I used to go to Campo. I used to go in the mountains for 10 weeks and just stay there. And there was no real good reception for phones. So it was, it made me, I couldn't talk to people, from literally from just the driveway, you could have done road work because to the mailbox from the main house was 3 miles. So you could run and get the mail and come back, and you did a 6 mile. You already, you know what I mean? Yes. So that's where I lived. The noise you made was the noise that you heard. So you still got fighters that live like that. You know what I mean? So those little fine things too, have as least stress as you can. You're eating very good, and I don't know. That's when that matters though. But you got to get your skills up to par.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. And for me, when I look at fighters, I see a duality because it seems like there's always a lot of people around. There's the coach and the trainer and the corner people and different, people in different roles. So there's always a lot of people, yet it seems like there's a solitary part of it. So maybe like you were just saying, if you go away to camp and you're by yourself, or the fighter's the one who's got to get up at 4 a.m. and go for the run and make those food decisions. So would you describe it as a solitary sport, or?
It's both. It's a team sport, but it's 100% a solitary sport.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, when they get in there, they're going to introduce you. They're going to raise your hand or say that you lost. They're not going to say your whole team lost, or you understand? And that's why, that's why I give all the fighter the praise when they win. And I give them all the hell when they lose, because first of all, usually when they lose, they're not listening to me. But if they are listening to me and they lose, it is personally my fault, and I know that. You know what I mean? If I tell you to do something and you were trying to do it at the right times, just don't go out there and do it, and you still lost, that's my fault, and I can admit that. But at the end of the day, people aren't going to say that. They're going to say you lost. You know what I'm saying? So that's what makes it an individual thing. And that's why, I think trainers that make sure that their fighters are getting up and running early in the morning. Like I had a good coach. I don't think, like I said, I trained myself, because to train is someone that definitely does something I trained myself at home. I made sure that I kept on it when I was working. But my best coach, he would get up and see if I ran, and told me, he was like he would set his clock. He didn't even need to do this just to see if I was, and I never even knew that he was watching.
Wow.
So I mean, with those coaches that's going, above and beyond, they should get paid, I guess, a little bit more, because. But yeah, it's your duty. It's your individual for you to get your butt up and run, to you to get up and do your strength and conditioning training, And then when you get into the gym, it's your responsibility to do everything in there. And then I put the game plan together and da 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 da. But a lot of fighters like to have their, hand held throughout the whole situation. But no, the old school way is, yes, it's 100%. Yours is totally individual, 100%.
Yes. And how did you know who to trust? Like, I'm sure that, especially as you were on your way up and a professional fighter and things are happening, and hopefully many people genuinely had your best interest at heart, but maybe there were some people who didn't. And how did you figure that out, and how did you navigate that?
It's very hard because I had my sister in my corner, so I knew she was trustworthy. But then I had other people also, like you said, that was so-called in my corner, that came to find out that you can't trust them. I guess you have to just keep an open eye, and if you keep that open eye, time will reveal it for sure, 100%. Hopefully, a lot of money didn't go down the drain in the process, but if you keep an open eye, time will reveal it sooner than later. And it happened to me, and I'm not naming any names because we're here in San Diego, and a lot of people know a lot of people, so a lot, I don't want to get into that. But yeah, I've definitely. It happens all the time.
And that's got to be hard because you're I imagine, you're trusting someone with your whole career. You're once you've
a part of your career.
A
part. And that's one thing I do like. The decisions that's going down in their what is it called, in their damn, I forgot what it's called because I'm kind of from last night, but their careers, a little easy word like that, but their careers, they so now they're taking more charge. And I think back in the day, it was totally the manager, and so now it's even more individual because they're dealing a lot with their production. Like, they want to be into everything right now. The fighters of today, they want to be in charge of everything. And that's one thing I do like about. I do notice they are taking control of their careers. Like, they're like, I'm going to do the social media. I'm going to do, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do everything. And, they're going to make the negotiations for the deals that they're making nowadays. So, kudos to them on that. But it's a little bit more work now. And maybe that's why it's lacked in talent, because, they have to put it somewhere else.
To me, social media is just a whole other beast that you have to deal with and navigate, good and bad. And how is a decision made to transition from amateur to pro? So, like, you had an amazing amateur career. I think you were 92-11.
How do you know that?
I did my research. Okay. Yes. And and so, how did you decide not to go for the next fight, for the 104th fight? So you had 103 fights. How did you decide now it's time to go pro and not have one more amateur fight?
Because I lost because I wasn't going to go to the Olympics. Once you get to a certain point, if you try to make it to the Olympics, and you have to make a decision: do I go through the amateurs again, which means you're going to have to wait 4 more years, or do I just go pro now? So I decided to go pro. Yeah, because I didn't make the Olympics. That's why I didn't go to Barcelona.
Yes.
Julian Wheeler did instead. So I went pro.
Yeah. And how do you guide your fighters now? Because you have both amateur and pro fighters that you train. How
I
do
don't
you-
train the amateurs. I have assistants
okay.
that train the amateurs.
Okay.
But when they're ready to go pro, the amateur coaches let me know, and then I turn them pro. That's the system that we've been going
Yes.
on through. From here. If you're a good amateur and it's time to turn you pro, then they send them to me,
Yeah. And then you go.
and then they go pro. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the gym here. You work with such an array of different people. So you have kids here. You have people like me who I wouldn't call myself amateur or pro for sure.
You're going to do
I'm
an
an
exhibition
enthusiast.
one day, though, right?
Yeah,
You're going to do
maybe
an
I'll,
exhibition.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm an enthusiast, I would
Right.
say.
For sure, 100%.
And then you have amateur fighters and pro fighters. And so what motivates you to work with all these different people? Like,
Is being able to literally say to my fighters that I have people here that come and have nothing to do with boxing that box harder than you do. Sometimes I can't believe I have some women that will come in here and train like they're getting ready for a fight, and they're never going to fight a day in their life.
yeah, they love it.
They have
love
no
it.
date to fight. Guys too.
Yes.
That have nothing. This is what they do, and they just come in, and that I admire. So and I tell my fighters that all the time. If I have people that's motivated and want to do it, then they don't have to. It's not even their job. As a matter of fact, they really have a 9 to 5. Oh my God, you should be training way more than that, and you should be training way more intense than that. So
Yes.
that's one thing I like.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. And sorry, I'm just checking the time. I heard an interview with Muhammad Ali's ex-wife, and I'm sorry that I don't remember her name, but she was saying she advised him not to fight George Foreman because George Foreman had been one of his sparring partners, and she said
It was Larry Holmes.
Oh, Larry Holmes. Okay, Larry Holmes. Yes.
I saw that interview, but go ahead.
Okay, yes. And so she was saying, don't fight somebody who's your sparring partner because they're hungrier than you are. And do you agree with that? Not necessarily about him, but in general, that you shouldn't fight your sparring partners?
No, I don't agree. And all due respect to her, because she's definitely one of the queens, but that was for money. Larry Holmes, Muhammad Ali was way past that fight shouldn't even have been approved. And yeah, Larry Holmes was a sparring partner, and I remember seeing him in Deer Lake, Pennsylvania. And he was one of the only ones that was at that time, because Ray Anderson was a sparring partner for Muhammad Ali, and Larry Holmes was another one. And yes, he gave Muhammad Ali back then problems. This is before the Parkinson's and everything. So, I would have agreed with her by saying you shouldn't have fought Larry Holmes. But no. Sparring partners fight each other all the time. Like she said, he fought Jimmy Ellis, and him and Jimmy Ellis, grew up together. The reason I don't feel you should say that I'm not going to fight, because that's the business you're in. If the rankings and everything brought us to this point, and we don't have the same trainer and manager and everything, it's almost a no-brainer. If you know what I'm saying? If the fight has led us to this point, what do? We say no, because we go, we're sparring partners.
Conflict of interest.
Yeah,
Yes,
no. This is the game that we're in. So no, I don't agree with her, respectfully. But it wouldn't have mattered if Larry Holmes was his sparring partner or not at that point. It would have, same outcome would have happened.
Yes. And their family really contributed in so many different ways to boxing. Like Layla Ali really helped to bring women's boxing into the forefront. And is the training for women boxers the same as for men?
No, of course not.
No.
I wouldn't assume so. I don't train too many women, but I wouldn't train them the same. They have, different body structures, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, they got to train a little bit different. Unfortunately for them, it's even harder for them to lose weight. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Than men. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of shit. Yeah. It's like you got to boil water different when you go in altitude. And when I mean by different, I just mean longer. You still got to use fire, motherfucker. But
Yeah.
I'm saying you got to boil it. You got to have it under heat way longer than regular down here. So it's just it's you got to do things different, but relatively the same. They are still fighters, But I would
Yes.
definitely approach things differently because, like I said, their structure is different.
It's different.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That makes sense. And so you've had a life of being involved in competitive activities. Do you have an outlet for that now? Do you do competitive chess, or are you doing something in competition to have that outlet now?
No. I'm not competing in anything now. I don't really think I want to compete
Mhm.
in anything. I just want to
Yeah.
teach. I don't know. I mean, I can't find anything that I would want to, compete in. That's a good question. You might, after this, I might think of something, but yeah,
Yeah.
I did dibble and dabble with the idea of maybe trying to do some bowling, but I suck. So yeah, I suck. So that went out the door. But I did. Now that you say that, I'm trying to think, because after all these years, of course, like you said, I am so I thought maybe bowling.
Yeah.
And my son went out there and beat me up. So yeah, no.
Oh, that's funny. And do you have some things now that you're working on? You mentioned in the previous episode that you're working on a book. Is there anything you can tell us without giving away the secrets of the book? Is it an autobiography, or just sharing your wisdom that you've learned?
No, it's more or less an autobiography, but I have so many sections of my life that is probably kind of interesting. So I didn't want to talk too much about the early. The time of like once I got out the Navy until the time I retired. Around that's the basis of the story.
Yeah.
But because that's going to be more of the boxing. Like more of like enjoyment, because like people just like the little cute kid or the kid with the afro, and so it was more of that, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Opposed to whereas from the Navy until the time I retired, I have more of a boxing story, people and personalities that I met that I had to cut short, and so that would come out, what we were pretty much talking about, and
Yes.
people that I had to fight, and I think that's more of the story. So I don't talk too much about the childhood part,
Okay.
but I have to say something about the Muhammad Ali thing. You know what I mean? Because that's an iconic picture. So I have to say something about it.
Yeah, sure. But I can imagine that period from the Navy until you retired is rich.
Right. That's the part of
Wow.
That's the part of the book that would be more interesting.
Yes. Is there anything else that you're working on now?
Well, we got our Tiger Smalls Boxing Foundation.
The foundation. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, we got that, probably up and running because of you, for sure. But
thank you.
we're now going to start, trying to start talking to people about our mission, and that's our next step. We're thinking about putting a little documentary together so we can, put it in visual, because in today's world, seeing it sometimes is better.
Yes.
So we're going to try to put together a little, documentary, and we're going to have a little banquet and, try to introduce the Tiger Smalls Foundation to the community and see how it works from there,
Yes. Yes. And to help underserved children.
For sure. 100%. It's a great cause, but I feel, I have a little bit of leverage. Now we even got, God willing, they will as well, and I think we have something going.
Yes, I agree. It's very exciting, very and admirable that you would put your effort into it. You don't have to do that, but you're wanting to do it. It's your vision, and so it's really, I think that's very powerful. And before we let you go, can you tell us, please, how people can connect with you if they want to follow you on social media? If they'd like to reach out to you, what is the best way for them to reach you?
At Tiger Smalls on all platforms.
Okay.
At Tiger Smalls, not Tiger Smalls Boxing, because that's somebody else. But you can go there because it's about me.
Yes.
But it's not me.
Okay.
It's at Tiger Smalls
Okay.
on all platforms.
On all platforms.
Yes.
And then if they wanted to reach you here at the gym, it would be the San Diego Combat.
SDCombatacademy.com.
Okay. All right, great. This has been so informative and interesting, talking about what does it take to actually pursue your dreams and make them happen and push through, the challenges. So I really appreciate you
I
being here.
appreciate you. Thank
Yeah,
you. You're
thank
the
you.
best. You have some of the greatest questions.
Oh, thank
Sometimes they're hard too. So
you. Good.
pause, but you know what I mean. They're hard. There's some questions in there that I gotta. And you do your homework, so you're good.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And thank you for being with us here today. If you'd like to reach me, I would love to hear any suggestions or feedback that you might have about this episode or any others. You can reach me at Kimberly@ringthing.com or my website, ringthing.com. We're here every other Tuesday, and you can watch us anytime on YouTube. Please subscribe to USA Global TV and Radio, and also our second channel, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbick. So I look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks, and thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbick. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.